Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome back, focused learners, to another explainer. Today, we're taking a really fun, structured journey to completely demystify a core pillar of English grammar, mastering the present indefinite tense. Seriously, if you want to communicate with absolute clarity and precision, you're in exactly the right place.
So, I want to start off by throwing a question directly at you. What is the most common tense in the English language? Just think about it for a second. Solving this little mystery is literally the key to speaking and writing English with genuine confidence. Well, the answer, of course, is the present indefinite tense. But why is it so common, and how do we actually unlock its power? Let's find out.
Here's our quick agenda for today's explainer. 1. Habits, truths, and routines. 2. The 4 sentence types. 3. The golden S rule. 4. Helping verbs, do and does. 5. Spelling rules and exceptions. And finally, 6. We'll put it into practice.
Moving right along to Section 1, Habits, Truths, and Routines, the Foundation.
Okay, so the present indefinite tense, which you've probably also heard called the simple present tense, describes actions that happen regularly, universal truths, or fixed habits. The absolutely crucial thing to remember here is that we aren't just talking about what's happening right this exact second. That would be the present continuous tense. Instead, we're zooming out and looking at the bigger picture. We're talking about steady patterns, ongoing facts, and the daily routines that essentially define our reality.
These concepts brilliantly show off the tense's everyday utility. We've got habitual actions like, I wake up at 6 a.m., universal truths like water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, scheduled events like the train leaves at 9 p.m., and even everyday instructions like turn left. Seriously, you use these exact functional categories every single day without even realizing it. To beautifully cement this foundational concept, just think about this classic example. The sun rises in the east. It's a permanent, universal truth, right? It doesn't matter if it was yesterday, if it's today, or if it's tomorrow. It's just an ongoing fact of the universe. And that sense of permanence, that is the very heartbeat of the present indefinite tense.
All right, let's jump into Section 2, the 4 sentence types, the framework.
Believe it or not, these grammar formulas are incredibly simple. It's almost like an elegant math equation. First up, the affirmative. That's your subject plus the base verb, or V1, plus the object, like they play. Next, the negative. Here we introduce a helping verb, making it they do not play. Third is the interrogative, which is just a fancy word for a question. Do they play? And you can even easily combine the negative and interrogative to make a negative interrogative, like do they not play? Honestly, compartmentalizing these formulas like this builds instant grammatical confidence.
Moving on to Section 3, the golden S rule, the complication.
Now, let's introduce the villain of our story, the one rule that constantly trips up students. Notice the direct contrast we have here. Plural subjects, which includes we, you, they, and surprisingly enough, the singular I, always take the plain, bare base form of the verb, so they play. But true singular subjects, he, she, it, they demand that the verb takes an S or ES. He plays. If you take away anything today, anchor it to this one golden rule.
Let's look at Section 4, helping verbs, do and does.
He does not plays. Okay, this is totally incorrect, but it is easily the most common mistake learners make. Why? Well, think of the word does as a really strong helper. Does has already stepped into the sentence and picked up the heavy weight of the letter S. So once does is holding that S, the main verb gets to drop it and completely relax back into its bare form, meaning the correct sentence is simply, he does not play. Let's quickly reiterate that negative structure formula. It's the subject plus do or does plus not plus the base verb, V1, plus the object. And hey, to sound totally natural and conversational when you speak, remember that do not and does not can be contracted. They do not simply becomes they don't, and he does not becomes he doesn't.
Okay, on to Section 5, spelling rules and exceptions, the finesse.
So we know singular subjects need an S on the verb, right? But exactly how we attach it depends entirely on the last letter. Step 1. For the vast majority of verbs, you literally just slap an S on the end. Work becomes works. Step 2. If the verb ends in a hissing sound or an O, like CH, SH, X, SS, O, or Z, you add ES. Watch becomes watches, go becomes goes. Step 3. If it ends in a consonant followed by a Y, you chop off the Y and swapped it for IES. Study becomes studies. And step 4. If there's a vowel right before that Y, just leave it alone and add an S. Play becomes plays. Easy, right?
I do have to briefly call out one really vital exception, though. The verb have. It definitely doesn't become haves. It just completely does its own thing and transforms into has for he, she, and it. Make sure you keep that one safely stored in your memory bank.
And finally, Section 6. Put it into practice. The resolution.
It's time to stress test everything you've learned today. Here's your very first test. She blank to school every day. And your base verb is go. Apply the rules we literally just talked about. Is the subject singular or plural? Does the verb need an S? Try to say the answer out loud right now before I reveal the solution.
And the answer is, she goes to school every day. Excellent job if you got that one. She is a singular subject, so the verb absolutely needs the S modification. And because go ends in an O, our spelling rules dictate that we have to add an ES.
Okay, ready for the next detective clue. I want you to change this affirmative sentence into a negative one. He plays football. Think back to our heavy lifters. How exactly do we construct this?
The correct answer is, he does not play football. Remember, our heavy lifter, does, swoops in and carries the S, which means the main verb play drops its S and reverts straight back to the bare base form.
All right, here's your final practice test. Convert this sentence into an interrogative form. A question. They live here. Think about those formulas we discussed earlier. Where does the helping verb go, and which helping verb do we actually use for the plural subject, they?
Let's reveal the final answer. Do they live here? Perfect. Do swoops right to the front of the line because they is a plural subject, and the rest of the sentence formula simply falls into place right behind it.
You guys have done some fantastic work today analyzing these structures, but I want to leave you with a bit of a provocative thought. You know the mechanical rules now, but can you spot these patterns in your own daily routine starting right this second? Don't just rely on textbook memorization. I challenge you to walk away from this explainer and actually describe your day, what you eat, where you work, the facts that govern your life, using your newly mastered present indefinite tense skills. Start observing the grammar happening all around you. Until next time, stay focused and keep learning.